Hello, welcome back. Today we are going to talk about my auto-buy authors. So these are authors that I will just buy their new release, sight unseen. I don't even have to read the synopsis, I'll just buy it, and there's a good chance I'm gonna like it. Not all of these that I'm gonna talk about I liked, so I haven't liked every book from the author, but these are still authors that even if they had one dud, I will still continue to buy their books, to read their books for whatever reason. I got the idea for this video from my friend Kyla. I will post her video down below and also link her channel, so definitely head over there and watch her video as well. So I'm gonna start with romance and then I'm gonna move to thrillers. So first, romance author being Emily Henry. So I have all four of her adult romances here. I know that she wrote YA. I have no interest in that, but I have read all of her adult romance and will continue to. Now, was this book trash? Yes. But will I still purchase the next Emily Henry book and read it? Yes, I definitely will. Now, I'm also a little annoyed that the first two were on Book of the Month and the next two weren't, so they don't totally match, but you know, such is life. I just really like Emily Henry's writing. Typically her characters are dynamic, with the exception of, I mean, honestly, this one is the exception to all of the rules with Emily Henry. But these dynamic characters, good relationships, good character development, usually good side characters as well. They're light and fluffy. There's a little bit of a more emotional element as well. Not as much as the other author I'm going to talk about, but just nice and light and easy to read and pretty good steam for the most part. And even though this one was a dud, I will continue to purchase and read Emily Henry. And then the other romance author I'm going to talk about is Abby Jimenez. I have Part of Your World and Yours Truly. These are in the same kind of world. And I do have the Book of the Month edition. She also has a trilogy in a different story, different world with different characters. The Friend Zone, the Happy Ever After playlist, and Life's Too Short. I didn't really like the Happy Ever After playlist, but I liked Life's Too Short and I loved the Friend Zone. The Friend Zone is my favorite of all of her books, and I need to get a copy because I borrowed the copy from my friend, but I want to have one for my shelf. Abby Jimenez is great at writing emotional romance that still have that rom-com feel to it. So it's a rom-com, but it also has a lot of deep emotional stuff. Sometimes I will say she has a tendency to bite off more than she can chew with a lot of different subplots and different things going on, but she does a really great job at pulling them back in at the end. And I cried during the Friend Zone. I bawled, I sobbed like a baby. So I will continue to pick up her next one, and I think somebody told me that she signed on with her publisher for the next 3 books in the next 3 years. So we definitely will be seeing more from Abby Jimenez, which I'm very excited about. Okay, now I have 4 thriller authors to talk about. The first being Simone St James. So I have 3 Book of the Month copies and then a paperback. This is one of her earlier releases. So these are her 3 most recent in this order. And she writes thrillers that are pretty dark, pretty atmospheric, and they have kind of a paranormal element to it, but you're not really sure. All of her books, it's it could be paranormal, but there also could be an explanation. So it could be kind of like Scooby-Doo-ish, but it could not, and you don't really know. This one out of all, well, I haven't read this one yet, but out of these 3, this one is probably my least favorite and this one is my favorite. And this one I liked, but this is definitely my favorite, The Broken Girls. And this one is kind of dark academia. This one is haunted house vibes. This one is haunted hotel vibes. And then this one is haunted asylum vibes. So that's why I picked it up, because you all know how I feel about asylum books. I also have read her debut, which is The Haunting of Maddie Clare. I didn't love that one as much, but I still enjoyed it, and I think it was a decent book. She often has a little bit from a detective as well, and so there's a little bit of that, but not too much. Her characters are fun, and there's a lot of character development, and I just really am drawn to her books. And even though I kind of know what to expect now out of her thrillers, they're still super fun, and I'll continue to pick them up. Up next, I have Ruth Ware, and I have 4 of her books here. I believe there's maybe 1 or 2 more. I have read them all, I just don't own them all. The Lying Game, I don't own that one, and then maybe 1 other. But these 4 I did enjoy. 2 of them are Book of the Month copies, and 2 of them aren't. This one I read years ago in 2016, and this is people stuck on a cruise ship and somebody goes missing. This one is haunted house vibes, dark academia, family inheritance. This is also like nanny in the house and the children are creepy and the house is like listening to you. It's like a smart house. This is probably her most popular one. It's also one of her most polarizing. And then I have The It Girl by Ruth Ware, which is dark academia. And I've enjoyed all of these. I gave all of these either 4 or 5 stars. And people say a lot of things about Ruth Ware. I would not call her as much of a thriller author as I would a mystery. A lot of murder mystery and things like that, but all of her books are so vastly different. And I feel like I'm just excited to read all of her books because I know that they're going to be different and I know that they're going to be intricate and have a lot of different concepts to them. Hi.
Hi. You ready for the things?
Okay, sorry about that. My boyfriend came home and interrupted for a second. So the next author is Riley Sager. Nobody's surprised. I have all of his published works here, all our book of the month copies except for The House Across the Lake, which is my least favorite of his books. But a lot of his books I've given 4 or 5 stars. This one I gave 3. But Riley Sager, is he like going to write the new classics? Probably not. 100 years from now, are people still going to be raving about these books? I don't know. Are they, literary masterpieces? I don't know. But are they fun? Yes. Are they atmospheric? Yes. Does he write unlikable, unreliable narrators? Yes, he does. But all of those things are the reason that I like him. I do have a ranking video for all of Riley Sager's books so you can see like my thoughts and hear the synopsis about all of them and what I think of them and how I would like kind of tier rank them. But basically I just enjoy him, and he does kind of have a formula now and I kind of know what to expect from Riley Sager, but I'll still continue to read it. Even though this one was kind of polarizing, I think that just made it even more fun, and I think that made people even more likely to pick up his next book. And then the last author I'm going to talk about is Queen Berry, Lucinda Berry. I have 3 of her books here, but I have read all of them. A lot of her books are found on Kindle Unlimited or Scribd, so that's a great way to find those if you don't want to buy the physical copy. It does kind of annoy me that they're all different. Like this one is like silky and this one's matte and this one's matte and like a totally different size, but I don't know. Such is life. Eventually I will pick up all of her books, but these are the ones that I have right now. This is my favorite out of all of her books, but I also have a tier ranking book talking about all of Lucinda Berry's books and what I think of them, just like the Riley Sager one. I'll also link that one up in the cards, so definitely go check that one out. But Lucinda Berry was a trauma therapist, and so a lot of her books have to do with things that she encountered during her practice and clients that she worked with. And I really feel seen in her books because I work in behavioral health, and so a lot of the things that she writes about are things that I experience or have experienced at work. So like reading The Perfect Child, it felt like a day at my job. But you really just don't know what Lucinda Berry is going to come up with next, and I love how she kind of has those moral dilemmas of what would you do in this situation, and she really makes you empathize for both sides. Like in this one, it's about a teenager who suffers with pedophilic disorder and how his mother is responding to that, and while you don't condone what he did, you really start to feel for him. And before this I would have thought like, oh, there's no way that I would feel for somebody like that, but you really do, and you really do start to see that it's not always black and white. There definitely is some gray. She has great representation in her books, great discussion, just I love everything about them. And she does have one coming out in November. Okay, those are all of the auto-buy authors I'm going to talk about today. Let me know if any of these are authors that you like or authors that you don't like, and leave a comment down below and tell me who your auto-buy author is. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!